Just want to touch on a point you just mentioned. Only your friends saw you at your best, but they didn't see
Mm.
the hard times.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that as well. That was really hard. They want to see you at your old self
Of
because,
course.
they love you at your old self. And, obviously last year was so uncharacteristic of me in terms of I was just not in a good headspace and it was really hard. And my social anxiety was through the roof a lot of the time. And, it was really easy to kind of get peer pressured into staying out later or drinking. I tried really hard. I think for most of the year, I didn't drink. So I'd go to these parties, stay at them for maybe 2 hours and not drink. But it was really hard. You'd hear kind of comments like, as if you're not better yet, or was it, oh, you're still not drinking and stuff like that. It was one of the hardest things to kind of stomach was your friends not seeing your improvements. And that was really disheartening and not being able to act like your old self
Mm.
because before that I was always, trying to make everyone happy and laugh, and I was always a silly guy and happy-go-lucky guy. And you try to like say that, oh, I'm getting better, and then a lot of the times I'd say I'm better, but deep down that you're not, and it's really hard to kind of get them to come to terms with where you're at.
As you got better, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you changed as a person. You're still the same guy, but you've got wisdom now. You've got an inner compass that you didn't potentially have before. And I don't feel like you need to be the old Harrison. You are who you are. You're a bit of that, you're a bit of this, and you kind of just have a bit of fun. But like, is that true that now you almost own who you are and it doesn't matter what people think almost?
Yeah, yeah. And I've always kind of liked to believe that I've been very open about mental health. And I like to think that I create an environment where, a lot of people can come speak to me and open up to me. But I think I've just kind of gone to a new level with that. I'm a real advocate for mental health. And like I said before, kind of assuming people aren't always having a good time. So I like to always check in with my mates now and just, text them once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks, like, hey, how you going? Because I would have loved that. And I did have mates who did check up on me, being like, hey, mate, how you going? Like, really
Mm,
just really authentic. But knowing how much I valued that, I try to do that now with my mates to them because
mm,
little things like that really help.
mm. So good, dude. How significant has the change been for you in your life since joining the program?
It's hard to kind of put into words. I do feel like a different person. I still act the same as I did when I was healthy. And that's something I really wanted to kind of keep is my personality, which I have. But, in terms of the way I think about things, like I said, putting a positive spin on things, having that pushing and crashing stuff, like that really was ingrained in me of you don't have to achieve everything in one day. And like being okay with just relaxing is something I had to force myself to do. And I'm not good at relaxing. I hate sleeping in past 10 o'clock, but sometimes you need that. And being able to kind of schedule those times where we can just do nothing, I think will help keep this at bay. I think I learned most of those things from the program. So yeah, things like that, like
Mm,
lifestyle changes. Yeah.
mm. So good. For people who are like umming and ahhing if the program's for them and they're like questioning everything, what would you say to them?
Everything you learn in the program is going to be beneficial regardless of where you're at or where you want to go. It's all healthy stuff. Like the food, the advice,
That's
everything
it.
is
Yeah.
just all positive. So, you're not really going to do yourself a disservice by involving yourself in the program.
Well said.